I want to start with something that most developers won't say out loud. For the past year, a lot of my job has been reviewing code that AI wrote. And I'm good at it. I can read a generated function, spot when the logic breaks, and push back when something's off. That part hasn't changed. But here's what I keep running into. I'm less sure about where I'll be in 5 years than I was when I started. And that's not a complaint about AI. It's just true. The common take is that AI makes developers more valuable. You get to level up to architecture and strategy. Maybe that's right. But when I actually started paying attention to what I wanted to be doing, it led me to somewhere that I didn't expect. I'm AJ. I'm a software engineer of 5 years, and I'm going back to school for cybersecurity. Before I get into why, here's something that I want to be clear about. I'm not starting from zero. The assumption that most people make is that pivoting into security means starting from the ground floor. CompTIA certs, help desk, entry-level SOC work, working your way up. If you're coming from a non-technical background, that's probably true. But 5 years of building production software is a different starting point. I know how systems work. I know how data moves. I know what happens when architecture decisions are wrong. And none of that is irrelevant to security. It's where most security work lives. Knowing I wanted to do this was easy. Figuring out how I got here took longer. I've been listening to Darknet Diaries since about 2019. It's a podcast about hacks, breaches, and the stories behind those headlines. Once I started, I couldn't stop. That was almost 7 years ago. At work, whenever we had to patch a service for a CVE, I was reading the write-ups. I wanted to know what the exploit was, how it worked, and why our code was vulnerable. And at some point, I realized something. I'm not just reading about a separate world where vulnerabilities and exploits just happen to exist. I've been working on the other side of these CVEs for 5 years. Security isn't foreign to what I do. It's what my work looks like from the other side. But knowing that still left one question. I never got a college degree. I don't talk about it that much, but it's true, and it matters here. An associate's in cybersecurity is not a powerful credential. I know that, but I want to finish something. I want to have completed it. I want to have earned it. That's a real motivation, not a strategic one, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I'm genuinely not sure if this degree is going to be worth it. My biggest fear is spending 2 years in this program and walking out only being able to take CompTIA exams. That would be a waste. So I'm going to document it. And when it's over, I'll tell you whether or not it was worth it. Not whether the degree was worth it, whether this specific program was worth it for someone with 5 years of engineering experience. That answer doesn't exist anywhere. I'm gonna go find it. School starts March 9th. I'm doing this part-time alongside a full-time job, so the pace is deliberate. I'm not waiting for it to start. I recently went to my first local DEF CON meetup. I learned how to pick my first lock, and I even got invited to a talk about running CTFs. I'm already in the room. One thing I keep thinking about, by the time I graduate, I will have had 7 or 8 years of engineering experience alongside an associate's degree. I really don't know how that's going to read to a hiring manager. Another thing I'll find out. Once a month, starting in March, I'm posting a video. Not a highlight reel, but a real account of what I'm learning, what's hard, and whether my engineering experience helps or doesn't. Here's the thing. This data doesn't exist. There's no honest, documented record of what it's like being a software engineer going into a cybersecurity degree program. What the coursework is like, whether your dev experience transfers, whether the credential matters showing up to an interview with 7 years of experience. Nobody's filmed that in real time. I am, starting now. Subscribe, and I'll see you in March. This is 0 Day 1. I spent 5 years learning how to build systems. Now I'm going to learn how to break them.